Welcome back, everybody. I'm Edward Bilder, and I'm back with a big and important video today because yesterday we narrowly slipped past a full government shutdown, but Congress right now is still not off the hook because that only puts a band-aid on one of the three major congressional issues right now. I'm going to focus in on three areas to be exact: government shutdowns, which you avoided yesterday. We're going to talk about the debt ceiling, the infrastructure plan, aka stimulus, which may currently be dead in the water, total dead bill. I'm also going to include topics on EIDL, so stay through the end of the video here. I'm going to keep it short and focused as possible so you guys can get your news. Before I get into it, remember to like and subscribe to the channel to tune in daily to get your updates on small business and the economy and much, much more. And along the way, of course, learn how to generate wealth. Remember, I'm the guy who makes money appear in his bank account every morning while I'm sleeping through passive income and real estate. If you want to learn my secret, check out my crash course found in the description, how you could use AirBNB to generate all that passive income. And I have it on a mega sale because I want to have as many people to have access to this as possible to start changing their lives and futures today. If you guys would like to learn how you can partner with me in my current B&B business, find me on Instagram and ask about my Zoom calls. Okay, guys, I'm going to get straight into this because we have a new bill that helped us narrowly keep the lights on here for a few more days, a few more months. Okay, it's kicking us down the road here to December to fund the government. All right, if we did not have this bill pass, thousands and thousands of government workers would have been furloughed. Could you imagine? Could you imagine for a minute getting a paycheck and it says $0 on it? This happened once in the past. We had a government shutdown and government employees were receiving paychecks with $0 written on it. Now, interestingly enough, I just learned this. They actually were paid, when they finally got all their back pay, they were paid interest on all that money that was supposed to come to them. So pretty nice, I guess you could say. I don't know that I've ever had a boss pay me, 2 months later and said, oh, by the way, I gave you interest on that. But that's for another video for another day, all right? This new bill was passed as a stopgap measure, okay? And it basically just kicks us down the road here through December, putting this little bit of gap in time here to figure out what to actually do here. And it also brought $28.6 billion in emergency disaster aid, along with $6.8 billion to resettle Afghan contractors, Afghan evacuees, you name it. Anybody that evacuated through Afghan, they're going to help them with $6.8 billion to resettle them. Now, shockingly enough, inside this bill was a funding to pay EIDL salaries. All right, this could mean good news. This could mean that we could potentially see more loan officers available to approve requests and modifications through the EIDL program, or it could possibly mean that we're just trying to pay our outstanding contractors with existing loan officers. Remember, we have all these contractors out there, and that bill keeps adding up and adding up. And this could be potentially to pay back pay. We don't exactly know. I will keep tracking this. It would not be as good if it is to pay back pay. We want to see more loan officers available to help us get these approvals through, as that reconsideration backlog is just growing. It's just growing and growing and growing. Time will tell. I will continue to track EIDL, and I will have more EIDL updates throughout the video, so stay through. I'm almost through this one, all right? And please keep your EIDL comments coming into the channel on this video as well, so I can keep track of your progress and know where everybody's status is. And if you'd like to comment on any of the other topics contained in this video, please do so as well. Now, that stopgap measure is rather small when compared to the other two major issues that are facing Congress right now, and that is settling our debt ceiling and the $3.5 trillion infrastructure plan. Now, I want to bring up a very important date, October the 18th, also known as X date. If we don't solve the debt ceiling by October the 18th, the U.S. will default on its obligations. And that happens to be a major issue because that is where all of Social Security lives, the child tax credits, and Treasury bonds. So why is this such a big deal to Congress right now, and why is it so closely attached to the $3.5 trillion infrastructure plan? You see, it's simple. The Democrats right now can use budget reconciliation to solve the debt ceiling crisis. I mean, part of one of the reasons why budget reconciliation exists, that the Democrats have the ability to basically pass anything they need to pass without the support of the other parties. But here's the key thing that you need to know. They only have one ticket left to ride this free vote, and they don't want to use it on the debt ceiling crisis. They instead want to use it on the $3.5 trillion infrastructure plan, the social plan, which, if you recall, if the $3.5 trillion social plan does not pass, this could also bring the House down on the $1.2 trillion road bill, the hard infrastructure plan, which to the EIDL viewers may not be such a bad thing, considering that bill wants to rob funding from the EIDL program. Now, Joe Manchin, he has another plan. He is the swing vote, the person blocking all of this from going through, and the person who could possibly save the EIDL program right now, okay? Joe Manchin came out with a list of demands. He sent a letter to Chuck Schumer, which was recently leaked here, and it itemized all of his list of demands. Now, Joe Manchin is very vocal in saying that this bill has vengeful tax increases contained inside of it. Not to mention, it also has inside of it the $600 IRS tracking. If you guys are following this closely, right now the IRS has the ability to track $10,000 transactions at a bank that you yourself trigger at a bank. They want to reduce that down to $600 transactions. Could you imagine buying an iPhone right now would require you to report that to the IRS? Buying a couch would require you to report that to the IRS. Going out and buying yourself, I don't know, 3-4 pairs of Nike sneakers would require you to report that to the IRS. Now, I don't know if any of you guys use PayPal at all, but PayPal had recently sent out an email. It says, take action to meet the new IRS requirements. The letter states the IRS, this is tricky that they did this. They said, take action to meet the new IRS requirements. The IRS will soon require anyone receiving $600 in payments for goods and services to confirm their taxpayer status. As someone who received payments through PayPal, you'll need to confirm your taxpayer status by providing your tax ID number to meet the requirements to avoid any disruptions to your account. Quite sneaky with PayPal because they titled the email, Take Action to Meet New IRS Requirements, as if it already exists. It is only currently found inside of a bill which has not yet been signed into law and may be blocked by Joe Manchin. Okay, let's get on to Joe Manchin's list of demands. First and foremost, he is saying that $3.5 trillion is too high. He wants to see this at a maximum of $1.5 trillion. He does not want to see any debate on this happen until October the 1st because he wants to see more economic data come through and present itself. This is a big one for all the EIDL viewers. He wants to ensure that all COVID money is spent prior to moving on to the new bill. It's smart to think this way because he wants to pump those funds into the economy as it was promised to the individuals it was promised to, because he knows that the infrastructure plan could take 2 to 10 years for all of that money to be dispersed into the economy before you start to see any fast benefits from it, all right? He also wants the Fed to stop quantitative easing. They continue to print money. They're printing $120 billion a month right now to buy treasuries, and he wants this stopped. I mean, he is concerned, and he has a good concern here, that inflation is going to get crazily out of control here because right now it is not transitory. To me, I'm not seeing it as transitory. The report came out this week that it's at 4%, down from 6%, but that's total BS if you ask me. Sorry for saying that. Right now, when you go to the grocery store, there is a 33% hike on everything that you're buying in the grocery store. In some cases, you're finding 50% hikes. And to the wealthy, that may not seem like a really big thing, but it really affects household incomes under $100,000. I mean, think about it. If you were once spending $100, you're now spending $133 on your food and your groceries. That's not good, okay? That is not good, and it will continue to go up, especially as we're heading into the winter and gas prices are still rising as well, okay? Now, he also wants to stop wasteful spending. He wants to basically step back and evaluate the income caps where all of the thresholds are set for everybody out there receiving funding, and he wants to stop, this is a big one, listen up, he wants to stop handout payments, aka stimulus checks, aka child tax credits, are also a form of a handout payment. Now, this could also mean that EIDL program being forgiven could be at risk because that could be considered a handout payment as well. So those are the major items that he had itemized in that list of demands. He also had a few others that I'll just go through quickly here. He wants to support a program for opioid addictions. He also wants to head the ENR, and he wants to see tax credits on hydrogen-powered vehicles similar to the EV tax credits. He's also okay with bumping up some of the tax increases, but not as high as it's currently spelled out in the current $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill. Naturally, if we're not going to spend as much money, you could bring those tax increases down a bit, right? Joe Manchin is the current person blocking the $3.5 trillion plan from going through, and Nancy Pelosi is battling this out, saying that she is not going to budge on budget reconciliation to use it for the debt ceiling. You see how the fingers are kind of pointing at each other like this? Ultimately, they all kind of come back to themselves because neither side will budge to get this thing solved, all right? So I will continue to track this right here on this channel as it progresses here throughout the week. Tune in daily to get your updates. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you get your updates daily. And remember, if you want to continue to support the channel, you can rush up to the description and grab that crash course found on Airbnb, where you could find yourself in the real estate game with a $50 bill in your hand, cash flow through Airbnb in 3 business days, earning an extra $5,000 to $10,000 each and every month. You don't have to own the real estate to do this. There's no major credit checks, and you don't have to be a fancy realtor to get this done. That crash course is on a major sale right now, found in the description. I want to have as many people to have access to this as possible, so I will let that crash course sale go on for a bit longer here. Start changing your futures today. And if you guys would like to learn how you can partner with me in my current B&B business, find me on Instagram and ask about my Zoom calls. That's going to do it for today, folks. I wish you all the best, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye for now.